What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, your lungs are sending you desperate warning signals that damage is happening, but you're missing them because nobody taught you what to look for? Millions of Americans over 50 are unknowingly destroying their respiratory system every single day through habits they think are harmless, ignoring subtle signs that their lungs are crying out for help. By the time most people realize something is seriously wrong, years of preventable damage have already occurred. But there are 4 specific warning signs that reveal lung damage is happening right now, before it becomes irreversible, and 5 powerful habits that can stop the destruction and actually heal your respiratory system. This isn't about waiting until you can't breathe to take action. This is about recognizing the early warnings your body is giving you and responding before permanent damage occurs. The shocking truth is that lung damage doesn't announce itself with dramatic symptoms. It whispers through subtle changes that most people dismiss as normal aging or minor annoyances. Meanwhile, simple daily habits that seem innocent are slowly suffocating your airways, triggering chronic inflammation, and stealing your lung capacity one breath at a time. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 4 warning signs that prove you're damaging your lungs right now, even if you feel relatively healthy. Then I'll show you the 5 specific habits that can stop this damage immediately and begin reversing years of deterioration. These aren't vague suggestions or theories. These are scientifically proven indicators and interventions used by pulmonologists to identify and prevent respiratory decline before it becomes a life-threatening disease. Your lungs are warning you right now. The question is whether you're listening. If you're over 50, you've probably noticed some changes in how you breathe, but you've dismissed them as just getting older. Maybe you clear your throat more often than you used to. Perhaps you've developed a slight cough that comes and goes. You might notice you need to catch your breath after activities that never used to wind you, or maybe you wake up feeling like you didn't get enough air during the night. You've probably told yourself these are minor issues, nothing to worry about, just part of aging. But what if these seemingly small changes are actually urgent warnings that significant lung damage is already underway? Here's what most people don't understand about lung disease and respiratory decline. By the time you're struggling to breathe, by the time a doctor diagnoses chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or another serious condition, you've already lost a substantial portion of your lung function. Lung damage is insidious because your body compensates so effectively in the early stages that you barely notice the decline. Your lungs can lose 30 to 40% of their capacity before you experience obvious breathing difficulties. This means that when you first start feeling like something might be wrong, the damage has often been progressing for years. The frustrating reality is that most of this damage is completely preventable. The warning signs appear early, long before serious disease develops, but almost nobody knows what to look for. Meanwhile, common daily habits that seem harmless are accelerating the destruction. You might be doing things right now, today, that are inflaming your airways, scarring your lung tissue, and reducing your capacity to breathe, all while thinking you're living a reasonably healthy lifestyle. The good news is that your lungs have remarkable healing abilities if you catch the damage early enough and implement the right protective habits. Thousands of people who learn to recognize these 4 warning signs and change these 5 critical habits have stopped their lung decline in its tracks and even reversed measurable damage. People who were on a path towards serious respiratory disease changed their trajectory completely and are now protecting their lungs and maintaining healthy breathing capacity well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The information I'm about to share could be the difference between healthy lungs for the rest of your life and a future of struggling to breathe. Let me explain the 4 warning signs that prove you're damaging your lungs without realizing it. These signs appear long before serious breathing problems develop, and recognizing them now gives you the opportunity to prevent devastating lung disease. Warning sign number 1 is morning mucus production or throat clearing. If you wake up needing to clear your throat repeatedly, if you're coughing up mucus first thing in the morning, or if you have that thick, sticky feeling in your throat that takes a while to clear, this is your lungs' way of telling you that chronic inflammation is present. Healthy lungs produce mucus, but they also clear it efficiently throughout the night. When you wake up with excess mucus, it means your airways are inflamed and producing too much mucus, or your clearing mechanisms are compromised, or both. This is often the very first sign of chronic bronchitis or early lung damage that will progress if not addressed. Warning sign number 2 is decreased stamina during activities you used to do easily. This isn't about suddenly being unable to run a marathon. This is subtle. You notice you need to pause halfway up the stairs when you used to go straight up. Walking to your car leaves you slightly winded. Playing with grandchildren requires rest breaks you didn't need before. Most people attribute this to getting older or being out of shape, but it's actually a warning that your lungs aren't delivering oxygen as efficiently as they should. Your cardiovascular system and muscles might be fine, but if your lungs can't get enough oxygen into your blood, everything else struggles. Warning sign number 3 is increased sensitivity to air quality or temperature changes. If you notice that cold air makes you cough or feel tight in your chest, if smoke or strong odors trigger breathing discomfort more than they used to, if you're more affected by air pollution or seasonal allergies than before, this indicates your airways have become hypersensitive due to chronic inflammation. Healthy lungs can handle environmental irritants reasonably well. When lungs are damaged or inflamed, they overreact to triggers that shouldn't cause significant problems. Warning sign number 4 is sleep disruption or morning fatigue despite adequate sleep hours. If you're sleeping 7 or 8 hours but waking up feeling unrest, if you wake up during the night feeling short of breath, if your partner says you're breathing irregularly during sleep, or if you wake up with headaches, these are signs that your oxygen levels are dropping during sleep. This happens when lung function is compromised and can't maintain adequate oxygen delivery when breathing is naturally shallow during sleep. Many people have no idea their lungs are failing them at night because they're unconscious when it happens. Now let me explain the common habits that are causing this damage. Most people over 50 are unknowingly doing things every day that trigger chronic inflammation in their airways, damage delicate lung tissue, and progressively reduce respiratory capacity. The first damaging habit is chronic shallow chest breathing. When you breathe primarily from your chest using only the upper portion of your lungs, you're never fully ventilating your lower lung lobes where the most efficient gas exchange occurs. This creates areas of poor ventilation where mucus accumulates and tissue deteriorates from disuse. The second damaging habit is indoor air quality neglect. Most people spend 90% of their time indoors breathing air that's often more polluted than outdoor air. Dust, mold, cleaning chemicals, air fresheners, and poor ventilation create a toxic environment that your lungs are exposed to constantly. The third damaging habit is chronic dehydration. When you don't drink enough water throughout the day, the mucus in your airways becomes thick and sticky, making it nearly impossible for your lungs to clear themselves properly. The fourth damaging habit is eating inflammatory foods regularly. Sugar, processed foods, and excessive omega-6 fatty acids promote systemic inflammation that particularly affects lung tissues. The consequences of ignoring these warning signs and continuing these damaging habits are severe. Chronic inflammation in your airways leads to irreversible scarring and narrowing. Your lung capacity continues declining until simple activities become exhausting. Your risk of serious respiratory infections like pneumonia skyrockets. Eventually, you may require supplemental oxygen or face life-threatening respiratory failure. The tragedy is that this progression is largely preventable if you recognize the warnings early and change course. Now let me reveal the 5 habits that can save your lungs by stopping ongoing damage and actively promoting healing. These habits directly address the causes of lung deterioration and support your respiratory system's natural repair mechanisms. Saving habit number 1 is implementing diaphragmatic breathing throughout your day. Your diaphragm is the powerful dome-shaped muscle below your lungs that should do most of the breathing work. When you breathe from your diaphragm instead of your chest, you fully ventilate all areas of your lungs, promote better mucus clearance, and strengthen your primary breathing muscle. Here's how to do it. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe in through your nose slowly, focusing on making your belly expand while your chest stays relatively still. Exhale slowly through your mouth, using your abdominal muscles to push the air out. Do this consciously for 5 minutes 3 times per day, and gradually it will become your natural breathing pattern. This single change can dramatically improve lung function within weeks. Saving habit number 2 is creating a lung-healthy home environment. Your indoor air quality directly impacts your respiratory health every moment you're home. Start by opening windows daily for cross-ventilation, even for just 10 minutes. Stop using artificial air fresheners, scented candles, and harsh cleaning chemicals that release volatile organic compounds. Use a high-quality air purifier with HEPA filtration in your bedroom where you spend the most continuous hours. Keep humidity between 30 and 50% using a dehumidifier or humidifier as needed, because both too dry and too humid air damage lungs. Remove sources of mold and dust regularly. These environmental changes reduce the constant irritation your lungs face every day. Saving habit number 3 is strategic hydration for optimal mucus consistency. Drink at least 8 to 10 glasses of water throughout the day, starting with 2 glasses first thing in the morning. Warm water or herbal tea is particularly beneficial because warmth helps thin mucus. Avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol, which are dehydrating. The goal is to keep your mucus thin and easy to clear rather than thick and sticky. Many people notice dramatic improvement in morning congestion and chronic cough within days of proper hydration. Saving habit number 4 is adopting an anti-inflammatory diet focused on lung health. Eliminate or drastically reduce sugar, processed foods, and fried foods that promote inflammation. Instead, emphasize foods rich in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids. Eat fatty fish like salmon or sardines at least twice weekly. Include berries, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and foods rich in vitamin C. Add turmeric and ginger, which have powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Eat foods high in vitamin E like almonds and sunflower seeds. This nutritional approach reduces systemic inflammation that's damaging your lung tissues. Saving habit number 5 is daily respiratory exercise and mucus clearance techniques. Spend 15 minutes each day doing specific exercises that strengthen your breathing muscles and clear your airways. This includes the breath stacking exercise, where you take multiple small breaths in a row to expand your lungs beyond normal capacity, forceful exhalation exercises to clear mucus, and pursed lip breathing to keep airways open. Also practice postural drainage by lying in positions that use gravity to drain different lung segments. These active interventions keep your lungs strong and clear rather than allowing progressive deterioration. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 63-year-old woman who had been experiencing all 4 warning signs but dismissed them as normal aging. She woke up every morning clearing her throat repeatedly. She got winded walking through parking lots. Cold air made her cough. She felt exhausted despite sleeping 8 hours. Her doctor did routine spirometry and found her lung function was already reduced by 30%, putting her in the early stages of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Margaret was shocked because she'd never smoked and considered herself reasonably healthy. Her pulmonologist explained that years of shallow breathing, living in a home with poor air quality, chronic dehydration, and inflammatory diet had progressively damaged her lungs without her realizing it. Margaret was devastated but determined to change course. She implemented all 5 saving habits religiously. She practiced diaphragmatic breathing throughout her day. She cleaned up her home environment completely. She hydrated properly. She changed her diet to emphasize anti-inflammatory foods. She did respiratory exercises daily. Within 2 months, Margaret's morning throat clearing stopped completely. Within 4 months, she could walk without getting winded. After 8 months, her follow-up lung function test showed a 12% improvement, something her doctor said was remarkable and proved she'd stopped the damage and begun healing. Margaret is now 67, and her lung function has continued to improve. She says recognizing those warning signs and changing those 5 habits literally saved her lungs and possibly her life. Pulmonologists emphasize that early detection of lung damage through warning signs is critical because intervention is most effective in the early stages. Research shows that people who recognize subtle respiratory changes and seek evaluation early have dramatically better outcomes than those who wait until symptoms are severe. Studies on respiratory rehabilitation demonstrate that the 5 habits we've discussed can improve lung function by 10 to 20% even in people with established lung disease, and can prevent further decline in those with early damage. The insider knowledge that respiratory specialists share is that most lung damage in non-smokers over 50 is preventable and often reversible if caught early. The tragedy is that most people ignore warning signs until irreversible damage has occurred. Physical therapists who work with lung patients report that those who implement comprehensive lifestyle changes including proper breathing techniques, environmental controls, hydration, anti-inflammatory diet, and respiratory exercises have remarkably better outcomes than those who rely solely on medications. Here's something that will shock you about lung damage and recovery. Research has shown that even people who have smoked for decades can experience significant lung healing if they quit and implement proper respiratory health habits. Studies using CT scans have documented actual reversal of inflammation and some tissue repair in lungs that were considered permanently damaged. This proves that lungs have far more healing capacity than most people realize, but only if you stop the damaging behaviors and actively support the healing process. Your lungs are constantly trying to repair themselves. The question is whether you're helping or hindering that process. When you recognize warning signs early and implement these 5 saving habits, the transformation extends beyond just physical breathing. Think about the relief of knowing you caught a problem early before it became serious. The confidence of taking active control over your lung health. The peace of mind that comes from breathing easily and not worrying about respiratory decline. People who make these changes report feeling empowered rather than victimized by aging, optimistic about their health future, and grateful they recognized the warnings before it was too late. We've covered the 4 warning signs that prove lung damage is occurring. Morning mucus or throat clearing indicating inflammation. Decreased stamina showing reduced oxygen delivery. Increased sensitivity to air quality revealing airway hyperreactivity. Sleep disruption or morning fatigue suggesting nighttime oxygen drops. We've revealed the 5 habits that can save your lungs. Diaphragmatic breathing to properly ventilate all lung areas. Clean home environment to reduce constant irritation. Strategic hydration for optimal mucus clearance. Anti-inflammatory diet to reduce tissue damage. Daily respiratory exercises to strengthen and clear your lungs. The question isn't whether these signs and solutions are real. Medical research and countless success stories prove they are. The question is whether you're experiencing any of these warning signs right now and whether you're willing to implement these 5 saving habits immediately before more damage occurs. Here's what you need to do today. Honestly assess whether you're experiencing any of the 4 warning signs. If you are, this is urgent. Start implementing the 5 saving habits immediately, beginning with proper breathing and hydration, which you can do right now. Schedule an appointment with your doctor for lung function testing to establish a baseline. Don't wait for symptoms to worsen. Your lungs are warning you for a reason. These 5 habits could be the difference between healthy lungs for the rest of your life and progressive respiratory decline leading to disease and disability. The choice is yours, but you must make it now while early intervention can still make a complete difference. Listen to your lungs. Recognize the warnings. Take action today. Your future breathing depends on it.